Where will you be in 5 years? Where will we be in 5 years? In 25? In 50? Let's be here and here, with her and him and they. Let's connect them. Let's connect everyone. Let's deliver technology that gives them access to power opportunity. Let's set a new standard for data security and personal privacy. Let's change the system. Promote equality and fairness in the workplace. Let's tear down the barriers to social justice for a more inclusive world. Let's clean house, zero carbon, zero waste. Because the health of our family is tied to the future of our home. Let's gather resources and partners, steer toward our greatest challenges and accelerate. For the benefit, for all. CISCO has made it its purpose to power an inclusive future for all. Where will we be in 50 years? Let's go see. CISCO, the bridge to possible.
Humans and nature. We're in this together. But to keep coexisting, we need to do more to protect our planet. CISCO Smart Building Solutions and our partners' technology can benefit both humans and nature, helping us make the best use of space and optimize energy consumption for the changing way we work. Making connections that deliver power and enable automation, creating efficiencies that can help the workplace and the planet, and freeing teams to work from anywhere while creating engaging experiences thanks to AI-driven collaboration tools. Sustainability initiatives are part of powering an inclusive future for all. With CISCO Smart Building Solutions, we believe all businesses can better optimize their energy use. Between meeting human needs and a sustainable future, there's a bridge. CISCO, the bridge to possible.
We're literally going to be connecting 500 billion things between now and the end of 2030. Countries have to be prepared to digitize their transportation, their factories, their homes. Everything is going to be connected.
Even natural resources like water need to be connected, which is exactly what they're doing in Boise, Idaho.
The last 3 years, we've been in a pretty major drought. Last year, we shut canals off almost a month and a half early because we ran out of water.
And those water shortages have a major impact on farmers.
You know, it's one thing to put together a PowerPoint, but that's not execution. Country Digital Acceleration will put together a process to take that slide deck and actually operationalize it.
We were approached by CISCO in looking for a project that high-speed wireless broadband could integrate with water. By installing automation and telemetry sites, we get real-time 24-hour data and gives water managers better information to make decisions on their water usage.
That's pure risk mitigation. They now know that they can scale it up and they can replicate it.
We can save anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 acre-feet of water in the reservoirs every year. It really is a simple, cost-effective solution to water management.
How have things been at work?
It's Groundhog Day. You know, just always the builder, never the architect. But the thing is I've got ideas. Big ideas about better products, new revenue streams, smarter investments, but the thing is I can't focus on any of that because here I am too busy like playing whack-a-mole all day.
It's a lot of metaphors today.
Thank you.
So it sounds like you need a platform that drastically reduces the amount of confusion caused by zillions of analytics tools and focuses the data for you.
Something that allows me to spend time thinking big picture.
Something that would reduce the amount of app system errors, pinpoint areas of improvement, and proactively suggest fixes.
Exactly. Why do you know that?
Don't know.
A classroom is no longer a room. It's wherever a student is. It's wherever curiosity plants a seed in a mind, sprouts wildly, and then demands to be fed. More, more, more. It's wherever someone asks why, or how, or what's at the bottom of a black hole. A classroom is anywhere in the world where there's a student eager to learn. Through secure remote and hybrid learning, CISCO has created the world's largest digital classroom. And we're making education possible for millions of students in countries all around the world, powering an inclusive future of learning for all. Between curiosity and knowledge, there's a bridge.
So, are the breathing exercises helping you at work?
Oh, those? No. Ever since the digital transformation, CISCO has our apps running like clockwork. Now I actually have time to breathe, you know?
Well, I'm glad the work we're doing here is helping your anxiety.
Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just the infrastructure isn't wreaking havoc. And our teams are happy. They're more productive than they've ever been. We've reined in all that tool sprawl that was driving up costs. And, ooh, and hey, remember all that data noise? Gone. So I feel like we can just resolve all of our customers' issues faster. Now my brain is braining again.
So they're finally listening to your ideas.
Yes, exactly. And now that CISCO has the whole experience streamlined, our customers are pumped, man. Now, I'm the golden goose. No, that's not the, is it calf?
I think it might be a burrow owl or some other fowl.
Owls aren't fowls.
Look how far you've flown, my golden...
What was that?
A hacker doesn't always look like a hacker. A hacker's at home, everywhere. A hacker comes in many forms. He's interested in everything. He can work alone. But with a crew, it's so much better. A hacker is free.
With CISCO, protecting your business from cyber attackers is simple. If it's connected, you're protected.
I'm a human. I'm a problem solver. I'm a person who loves to listen and to reflect on that. I believe in the power of a collective mindset and what we can achieve with that. You go beyond what is expected. You always go to the greatness results. FIFA mission is to make football truly global. And that's what happened with the FIFA Women's World Cup. It was such a transformational event in how people now follow football. We had close to 2 billion people watching the FIFA Women's World Cup, the largest women's sport event in history. Technology enabled that to happen through such an amazing partnership with CISCO, through such an amazing network, and through such a wonderful, united, single team. Because all in all, this is all about people. Having a strong, reliable, scalable, and secure network is the key component to make sure it happens without any single problem. I see the success of this year FIFA Women's World Cup was not just the victory of Spain. It was the victory of the women's football. New role models, new stars for the girls and the boys. A tournament that moved the world to a beautiful, inclusive future with a beautiful game.
A cyber attack can grind everything to a halt. Cisco Security keeps your company moving forward because if it's connected, it's protected. Cisco.
So what do you think your account? 7?
It needs to carry 150, right?
Yeah.
Should be perfect.
Cisco's purpose is to power an inclusive future for all. That's why we're working with the APGA and the USGA to make golf more inclusive. We're teeing up tomorrow because the more of us who play, the better golf is for all of us.
It's really great to be here. I'm just taking the opportunity to let you inside my little glowing world. I grew up in a countryside around in a craftsman family. So it was everything, whatever you want to do, you have to do it with your hands. But as a little girl, I always wanted to do things different. And I always asked, why can't I do that? So the frustration thing for me back then was always like, well, why can't I do both? Why can't I be smart and pretty at the same time? Because fashion, makes you look pretty. It dresses you well, it makes you feel comfortable, but that's it. There's no smart, implementation to it. On the other side, when you look at wearable tech, everything is so smart. There are so many sensors, there's so much smart software around it, but it usually looks pretty ugly. So I just found myself at a moment where why can't I be both? Why can't I be smart and pretty at the same time? And many years forward, I found myself with a new friend, as you can see on the next slide, Marlene Dietrich. She passed away several decades ago, but there is a huge archive of her inheritance. She was a stage performer, an amazing actress. She was also known as the Master of Light. And then in 2017, she came to us in the form of old letters she wrote, in which we found in an archive. And we found out she wanted to have a fashion tech dress. The letters she wrote back then, when she was in her Las Vegas shows, that she wanted to have an interactive, glowing dress. And of course, that means she wanted to have LEDs and she needed to have a Bluetooth connection. Well, but back then, there was no Bluetooth connection, no LEDs, but she wrote in her letters very specific. She wanted to have a lot of flowers, she wanted to have a lot of sparkling crystals, and they had to adapt to her songs on stage. So all of a sudden, there was me, little me, then they came to me and said Lisa, you have to make the dress because you do that thing with the electronics and with the LEDs. We actually brought 3 different worlds together. The one thing is textiles. We call it flexible materials because it can be woven or knitted. Electronics, right? Sensors, Bluetooth connection, LEDs, and of course, software. So you need all of these 3 components to create a dress like this. So imagine that also means we need to bring 3 different kind of people together, an electronic engineer, a textile engineer, and a software engineer to create something entirely new. And if you see it as an opportunity, because there will be software engineers needed to program addresses by that. If you want to program addresses like this, there is a software component, there's a hardware component. Learn how to solder LEDs. It might be very useful in the future.
A cyber attack can grind everything to a halt. Cisco Security keeps your company moving forward, because if it's connected, it's protected. Cisco.
So what do you think your account? 7?
It needs to carry 150, right?
Yeah.
Should be perfect.
Cisco's purpose is to power an inclusive future for all. That's why we're working with the APGA and the USGA to make golf more inclusive. We're teeing up tomorrow, because the more of us who play, the better golf is for all of us.
At Cisco, we provide cybersecurity solutions and expertise. We help the world navigate an uncertain present and enable a protected future. We're driven by the duty to help our customers become more resilient, see more threats, anticipate what's next, and take the right action when the stakes are at the highest. Behind our innovation, you'll find a shared passion for solving problems, for making a real-life impact, cultivating a culture of learning, and championing a people-first philosophy. Being inclusive and encouraging you to show up as your authentic self isn't simply welcomed, it inspires us to build and learn together. We also believe that taking care of our customers starts with being kinder than necessary to each other. That's why we make an ongoing investment to level up your skill set, provide paid time off to give back to your community, and celebrate our wins together. Whether safeguarding data, helping keep critical services running, or providing threat intelligence, cybersecurity at Cisco empowers the world to reach its full potential securely, creating an inclusive future for all. A secure future starts with you.
A classroom is no longer a room. It's wherever a student is. It's wherever curiosity plants a seed in a mind, sprouts wildly, and then demands to be fed. More, more, more. It's wherever someone asks why, or how, or what's at the bottom of a black hole. A classroom is anywhere in the world where there's a student eager to learn. Through secure remote and hybrid learning, Cisco has created the world's largest digital classroom. And we're making education possible for millions of students in countries all around the world, powering an inclusive future of learning for all. Between curiosity and knowledge, there's a bridge.
Humans and nature. We're in this together. But to keep coexisting, we need to do more to protect our planet. Cisco Smart Building Solutions and our partners' technology can benefit both humans and nature, helping us make the best use of space and optimize energy consumption for the changing way we work. Making connections that deliver power and enable automation, creating efficiencies that can help the workplace and the planet, and freeing teams to work from anywhere while creating engaging experiences thanks to AI-driven collaboration tools. Sustainability initiatives are part of powering an inclusive future for all. With Cisco Smart Building Solutions, we believe all businesses can better optimize their energy use. Between meeting human needs and a sustainable future, there's a bridge. CISCO, the bridge to possible. At CISCO, our purpose is to power an inclusive future for all. And in that future, Mother Nature has a voice.
I'm Emily Kennedy, and today I'm going to share my journey of building AI for good. I'm president and co-founder of Marinus Analytics, and I built this AI company from the ground up, pretty much straight out of college, to fight human trafficking through our software called Traffic Jam. Traffic Jam has grown to be deployed to law enforcement for human trafficking investigations across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. I was a humanities major, and at that time, a lot of it was very much a timing thing that sex trafficking in particular in the United States had started to move from the streets to online. So rather than victims being on a certain street in a certain neighborhood where people would come and buy them, those victims were being advertised online for sex and being exploited. And so after my job, I worked as a research analyst full-time for 1 to 2 years, and we ended up creating a prototype of Traffic Jam in the lab. And so it started to really take shape. And again, it wasn't with the expectation that it would grow to the level that it's grown now. But what ended up happening was we started getting calls from detectives all across the United States saying, I heard you have this tool. Can you help me on my human trafficking investigation? And so we launched our company, Marinus Analytics, in 2014 to do that. And on the next slide, it just shares a little bit about kind of what we do, our mission, which is to create AI solutions that equip these frontline workers, like those human trafficking detectives, to protect the vulnerable and end systemic exploitation. So what does Traffic Jam do? Well, Traffic Jam is basically a suite of investigative tools, AI-based tools, to help law enforcement find and recover victims. So it includes and deploys many different types of AI, including some that you see here. So simple search to query phone numbers of known victims when maybe a family reaches out to a detective and says, our daughter, we think she's trafficked for sex, and here's her cell phone number. To find historical breadcrumbs that can actually back up the stories of victims, even in court, which is extremely helpful. And then we have tools like pattern recognition that can identify across millions of images when the same hotel bedspread was seen across multiple photos, helping to identify, for instance, when there's multiple victims advertised in the same room or against the same hotel bedspread. Then we have things like juvenile leads. So when we review these images, we can estimate the age to bring potential juvenile leads to the surface and to the detective's attention. So our goal is never to replace the detective. The goal is to narrow down the information that they need to manually process. Because of course, we as humans can only manually read through so much information. So the goal of pretty much all of these tools is to narrow down the information that the humans have to process. So my first takeaway for you is don't be afraid to jump into something, even if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Don't let those hurdles stop you from trying. And in fact, a lot of the trying just results in a lot faster learning. That's how you're gonna learn. So don't be afraid to jump in.
Here's what security looks like today. Too many threats, too many fixes, too many controls across too many clouds. You end up with a patchwork of brilliant protections that's, well, complicated. And complicated is a problem, because it's harder to manage, which means easier to attack. So wouldn't it just be better if security could be simple? Like a single security platform, integrated, centrally managed, powered by AI, accelerated by automation, delivering telemetry and visibility across your entire multi-cloud infrastructure. So everything that's connected is protected. That's Cisco Security Cloud, a cloud-based security platform that makes it easier for your users to access their apps, no matter where they are, securely. For your IT administrators to manage policy consistently across their entire environment. For your security team to detect and remediate breaches anywhere they're happening. And for your developers to create apps that are, from day one, already secure. Cisco Security Cloud. Better for users, easier for IT, optimized for developers, safer for everyone.
It's really great to be here. I'm just taking the opportunity to let you inside my little glowing world. I grew up in a countryside in a craftsman family. So it was everything, whatever you want to do, you have to do it with your hands. But as a little girl, I always wanted to do things different. And I always asked, why can't I do that? So the frustration thing for me back then was always like, well, why can't I do both? Why can't I be smart and pretty at the same time? Because fashion, makes you look pretty. It dresses you well. It makes you feel comfortable. But that's it. There's no smart, implementation to it. On the other side, when you look at wearable tech, everything is so smart. There are so many sensors. There's so much smart software around it, but it usually looks pretty ugly. So I just found myself at the moment where why can't I be both? Why can't I be smart and pretty at the same time? And many years forward, I found myself with a new friend, as you can see on the next slide, Marlene Dietrich. She passed away several decades ago. But there is a huge archive of her inheritance. She was a stage performer, an amazing actress. She was also known as the Master of Light. And then in 2017, she came to us in the form of old letters she wrote, in which we found in an archive. And we found out she wanted to have a fashion tech dress. The letters she wrote back then, when she was in her Las Vegas shows, that she wanted to have an interactive, glowing dress. And of course, that means she wanted to have LEDs and she needed to have a Bluetooth connection. Well, but back then, there was no Bluetooth connection, no LEDs, but she wrote in her letters very specific. She wanted to have a lot of flowers, she wanted to have a lot of sparkling crystals, and they had to adapt to her songs on stage. So all of a sudden, there was me, little me, then they came to me and said Lisa, you have to make the dress because you do that thing with the electronics and with the LEDs. We actually brought 3 different worlds together. The one thing is textiles. We call it flexible materials because it can be woven or knitted. Electronics, right? Sensors, Bluetooth connection, LEDs, and of course software. So you need all of these 3 components to create a dress like this. So imagine it also means we need to bring 3 different kind of people together: an electronic engineer, a textile engineer, and a software engineer to create something entirely new. And if you see it as an opportunity, because there will be software engineers needed to program dresses by that. If you want to program dresses like this, there is a software component, there's a hardware component. Learn how to solder LEDs. It might be very useful in the future.
Hello, tech savvy friends. Get ready for some tech-tastic adventures as we unveil our latest series, Find Yourself in the Future, which commences today and runs through until October next year. So buckle up for a thrilling ride as we explore the latest in tech with insights from our expert speakers here at CISCO. To kick us off with our launch, we've got an exciting three-part series on the captivating worlds of sports, media, and entertainment. Have you ever pondered the career path in these fields? Well, want to know more? We're in for a real treat as we chat with two outstanding individuals here at CISCO. They're often regarded as having the coolest jobs in the company, and they're here to give us the inside scoops on their career journeys and how they've reached their current positions. But before we jump in headfirst into the action, let's chat about something super important: landing your dream job in sports media and entertainment. And guess what? It all starts with mastering the technology. You've already taken a giant leap by joining us at our event here today. A really big high five for that. But to really nail that dream job, diving deep into the tech is key. And who better to guide us on this adventure than our very own product marketing manager, Beth. Beth's here to unpack the ultimate learning pathway that'll set you right on track. So let's give a warm welcome to Beth for coming to share her insights and help kickstart your journey into the future. Take it away, Beth.
Thanks, Emma. So glad to be here with you all for this edition of Find Yourself in the Future. In this series, we're talking about sports, media, and entertainment. Today, you're going to hear from Manny and Nick about their career journeys and how they got to where they are today. But to get us ready, I wanted to ask you about your journey. Where might you want your future to go? Maybe you already know your goals, or maybe you're just starting to explore and see what you're interested in. Or maybe you're like many of us who are finding our paths along the way. There's not one right answer. Let's start with 3 tips to help you as you navigate your journey. Tip number 1, explore. The field of tech is vast. Plus, there are many learning opportunities to gain exposure and see what topics interest you most. In just a moment, I'll share some short introductory courses for some great options to start exploring. Tip number 2, build your skills. Find opportunities to get real hands-on practice through labs, interactive activities, projects, experiences, internships, certifications. These are all examples of way to prepare and get job-ready skills. Tip number 3, stay curious. As you learn, soak things up like a sponge. There's always more to learn and ways to grow, and that's part of what makes a career exciting. So let's dive in. In this series, we're going to hear from Manny and Nick about how digital technology is transforming our experiences at events like sports stadiums, concerts, large venues, and more. At an event, you probably expect the audio and video displays to work seamlessly. You'll want fast, secure, reliable Wi-Fi, and depending on the size of the venue, this may need to accommodate thousands of people. All of this is built on technology. If you're curious how it works, I have some great starting points for you. First, I highly encourage you to check out the Introduction to IoT and Digital Transformation course. Billions of devices connect to the network every day, and this course gives you an overview of how digitization is having a huge impact across industries. A natural next pick is the Introduction to Data Science course to learn how all that data is used. I'd also highly recommend the Introduction to Cybersecurity course. Anything that's connected has to be protected, and having a basic understanding of cybersecurity is crucial for everyone and any role. These are free online self-paced courses, and you can go through each one in about 6 hours. If you're ready to pursue a career in tech, here are a couple learning pathways to jumpstart your career. If you want to learn networking, our network technician career path is the place to start. It's a self-paced, curated learning pathway that takes you from 0 prerequisites to gaining the knowledge and skills needed to earn an entry-level CCST networking certification and apply for entry-level job roles like network support technician, help desk, or IT support specialist. If you're interested in cybersecurity, check out our junior cybersecurity analyst career path. This self-paced, curated learning pathway starts with the basics and takes you through the knowledge and skills to earn the entry-level CCST cybersecurity certification and pursue entry-level job roles like junior cybersecurity analyst or cybersecurity technician. We also partner with amazing educators across the globe who offer instructor-led versions of this curriculum that aligns to these certifications. You can start these self-paced courses today or look for a local academy near you at netacad.com. You'll find courses, learning resources, certification information, and more. Plus, we have virtual events like this throughout the year. Follow us on social to keep up with the latest news. What I shared today just scratches the surface. We offer over 50 courses, including networking, cybersecurity, AI, programming, and more. You can even work on your professional skills and take advantage of our career resources to help you in your job search. I'll be back next time to talk more about learning pathways in part 2. But for now, let's get ready to hear from Manny and Nick and hear about their career journeys. Back to you, Emma.
Big thanks, Beth, for lighting the way with CISCO Academy's learning pathways. Now we're all set to embark on our own awesome learning journeys. So without further ado, let's dive right in with Manny Spanidakis, CISCO's General Manager for Sales for Sports Media and Entertainment, and Nick Ricinius, CISCO's Lead Architect for Sports, Media and Entertainment. Manny, Nick, it's so great to have you here.
Thank you, Emma. Very, very happy to be here today. I'm Manny Spanidakis. I'm the Sales GM for our Sports Media and Entertainment practice across the Asia-Pacific region. Joining me is my colleague Nick. Nick, introductions.
Hi everybody, Nick Ricinius. I'm a lead architect for Sports Media Entertainment.
Thank you. Well, a bit about my journey. As you can see, I did start in the professional sports as a soccer player and continue now and I coach. And it's pivotal. That's a pivotal thing for me. It's been a passion for me since very, very young. And thankfully, I've managed to make a career out of it.
Favourite team, Manny?
Favourite team? In the English Premier League, it's West Ham, I guess I'd have to say. That's probably the league that everyone can relate to. But look, my journey started, I was very lucky. I was chosen to play first team football in my senior year of high school. And so at that time, yes, it was professional, but it wasn't full time. And I got some great advice from my student counsellor in my senior year who said, you need to find something to do so as a backup plan. And that backup plan was an advanced diploma in electronics engineering. It made the timing perfect because I could train but also study. And a long, long time ago, in 1985, I commenced that journey. And during that time, worked in audio-visual repairs and videos and sound systems and all that stuff while I was studying and playing soccer, which led to my first opportunity at a company called Unisys as a systems engineer. And then this opened the door to the career I have now and where I am now with CISCO. And as you look at that journey, Nick, and it's a long journey and it's a long and winding road, the one thing I would say is from the interview phase, I stated my intent, and I would encourage everyone to do that. When they ask you, where do you see yourself in 3 years or 5 years? Don't be afraid, be bold, tell them where you want to be. And I did aspire to be a manager, and I did aspire to move into a leadership role, and I made that clear, which meant opportunities were presented to me along the way, Nick, to be a team leader and then a state manager for the engineers. And then along the way, people knew my footballing background, and that led to an introduction to a contract with Unisys and the Channel 9 broadcast channel, which had the rights to sport. And you'll see sprinkled along the path of my journey, sports icons, which meant the opportunity to manage those accounts, to run those systems and help Unisys at the time provide the sports scoring systems. That was my introduction to, in the ICT industry, the sports industry, and where the two overlapped. In 1989, in 1993, 95, 97, I started having more and more involvement in these sporting opportunities, which meant that when a sales opportunity presented itself, I transitioned into sales. And I think that was a pivotal role, Nick, moving from engineering into sales in 97 meant that I had an opportunity now to pursue something I loved, which is the sport, but also sales, and be able to sell and deliver to market things that I helped develop at Unisys. At that time as well, just quickly, I realised I wanted to be involved in sport. I wasn't sure where, so I did a postgrad in the evenings in sports management. That led to more and more opportunities. And then if we fast forward to 2010, when CISCO decided to create a sports practice and an opportunity for a BDM role came up, I put my hand up. I had technical qualifications, I had sports management qualifications, and thankfully I was chosen. And 13 years later on this amazing journey, I've had a fantastic opportunity to do something I'm passionate about with someone that I really care for, make new friends, and create fantastic memories. And that's my journey so far,
Awesome.
and hopefully more to come. How about you, mate?
Well, if you think about from my perspective, sport has been integral in a lot of things I've done, but I've been more of a techie over my life. Fun fact in that sense, from a sporting perspective, I actually had the privilege of meeting Nanda Parado. And for those who don't know, there's a movie out there called Alive, which is regarding the Uruguayan rugby team in 1972. Unfortunately, they crashed in the mountains, and it was an epic tale of survival. And I do encourage you to go have a look at either the movie or even read the book. And one of the survivors was Nanda Parado, and I actually had lunch with him and talked about his story, which was very inspiring. But in terms of my journey, so similar to the way Manny, in terms of progression, I started out 1990s in the university, working on a computer system engineering degree, worked with a number of companies around electrical as that was starting to come in with that perspective. And then as I progressed after graduating around 1995, started to work with organizations like Qantas, where that's where I really gained the love of networking, started to look at certifications. And I found that the certifications became a real foundation for my technical capabilities. I'm a big believer in that if you're going to sit there and look at really large, complex and technical projects, having understanding of the basics is going to help you hold you in good stead as you move forward.
Absolutely.
And so that allowed me to progress into other organizations around design. So where I took a lot of the learnings that I had from a technical perspective at the basic level, and then was able to elevate it to the design level. Around 2005, I had the opportunity to join CISCO. I joined them as a system engineer and started looking at specific opportunities around the solutions. And then 2010, we started to look at what we called really smart and connected industries, where technology now was starting to be adopted in a smarter fashion, in an automated fashion. How does technology help drive outcomes for customers? And then, of course, around 2010, 2011, like yourself, got the opportunity to work in sports media entertainment. And now I'm the lead architect for sports media entertainment within this region. And so as we continue to look at how technology plays a role, the one key takeaway that I've had is understanding the fundamentals of networking, understanding the fundamentals of technology is critical to whatever success you're going to have as you move forward.
And I think the same, Nick, irrespective of whether in the future you aspire to transition into sales or marketing or any other role, fundamentally underpinning you is that knowledge, that technical knowledge is a strong foundation.
Absolutely.
And look, I guess as we transition into the next talking point, whilst many things change and change is constant, the one common theme that's resonated from our customers to us over the last 13 years are the top three key business drivers. These have remained the same since 2010 when we first started surveying our customers, and irrespective of geography. The first and foremost, well, not in any particular order, but the three are, if I'm going to invest $1 in technology, it's very important that the technology enables me to increase and maximize my existing revenue categories, but also create new digital revenue categories. And we continue to see that accelerate as we talk to customers today. The second one is, if I'm going to invest in technology, it needs to allow me to drop and decrease my total cost of ownership, implement automation and operational efficiencies, because even though these are large properties from a footprint perspective, they're not large when it comes to support staff and IT staff. And so any way you can automate, centralize, and drop total cost of ownership through operational efficiencies is beneficial. And then finally, if we're going to invest $1 in technology, our customers are telling us that we have to be able to create an experience that's going to be memorable and that's going to allow for our guests to come back more and more, spend more money when they're at the event, but also amplify on social media how fantastic it is to encourage others to come to the venue.
Absolutely.
Now, if you wrap around that the more recent messaging around sustainability and social responsibility, which was starting prior to COVID, but has accelerated significantly post-COVID, then everything has to be with a lens of sustainability.
Yep.
And obviously Cisco is a significant investor in this sustainability program.
And if we think about who are the customers we're talking about here, it could be a stadium, an arena, it could be a casino, it could be a large entertainment precinct, it could be any of those.
Shopping mall, any large public venue where there's a significant congregation of people for an extended period and they want to securely, digitally engage those people.
Yep.
These are the top three that we're hearing coming back to us.
Absolutely. So let's have a think about, from a solutions perspective, Manny, what are we talking about here from a technology? From the basis of a lot of the design and the work that we do with a lot of our customers, fundamental foundation is really important.
Absolutely.
It's key to making everything successful when it comes to connectivity, when it comes to data, video, voice, all operating in those large public venues. You can see here what we're referring to effectively is trying to create a simplified, automated, intelligent, and secure network that forms the foundation for a lot of the solutions and applications that are going to be then supported on there. And ultimately, we're trying to address those outcomes, Manny, that you talked about earlier, trying to match the needs that the customer wants, but also their customers, the fans, the patrons like yourselves who go to these events from that perspective.
Nick, if we just go back a step just to show how much we've advanced. When we first started in 2010, it was standard business practice to build 4 or 5 disparate networks across the one property, one for building management systems, one for point of sales, one for ticketing, just like Cisco did when they drove a large market transition around voice over IP. We came in and said, well, why don't we collapse all that to one single converged secure network? And that's how we started the platform, the network as the platform.
Great point, Manny. So what we do is we then take that platform and we provide bespoke solutions on top of that. For example, content around signage, the ability to drive migration of clients, patrons, guests from mobile devices from the cellular world into the wireless world. Everything's about connectivity, as we know, Manny, today.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants to be connected straight away, immediately. The ability to understand what's going on around location. Where are people? Where are they congregating? How do I engage them through the mobile, right, on their apps? Everyone's driving their apps strategy. And then we're also thinking about the venues. What are they doing smart? How are they taking sensor technology? How are they taking smart technology with interconnecting all these devices? All these things that are really, really starting to drive efficiencies within buildings and the venues. And of course, we start to move more around IP enabling a lot of the platforms. Broadcast video is a huge one, Manny, that we're seeing. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later, where we talk about the evolution of the way IP has helped drive the broadcast within the venues, inside the venue, and externally to the venue. And of course, let's not forget, visibility is critical. It's great to have all this technology working well, but you need to be able to see what's happening. And more importantly, you want to really try and understand what could potentially be happening in the future to address any potential problems. But of course, Manny, it isn't just about these solutions, it's also about our ecosystem partners.
I mean, Cisco's whole model for over 30 years has been partner-enabled and partner-led, and so we have a fantastic broad spectrum of ecosystem partners. And when you hear of some great innovative things that people bring in, and we'll talk a little bit later about AR and VR, all that is underpinned by what you see here, these foundational elements. The other thing you can see here is that your conversations are broad across all lines of business. So you're not pigeonholed into IT, you're across operations and marketing and sales and sponsorship and all lines of business who have the same dependency on the technology.
Absolutely. Of course, I think fundamental to everything we talk about here is the architecture, right? If you don't get an architecture right, if you don't set up the right architecture for your customers or for whatever the outcomes that they're trying to achieve, you're going to have challenges. And the architectures are what really allows customers to scale, to grow, to adapt, and be nimble. And as we talk about operationally being efficient with regards to their venue. Fundamental is networking. Obviously, Cisco being a networking company, the networking connectivity part is critical and really the glue to a lot of things that happen from an architectural perspective. But we also expand beyond that. Think about how Internet of Things are playing a key role. Everything is being IP connected to the network, whether it's signage, whether it's sensors, whether it's audio, whether it's environmentals. All of that is starting to connect to the network. Having a fundamental understanding of how that's going to work is critical. As we continue looking at the architecture, we talk about the networking side as far as visibility of clients, movement of mobile devices, becomes very critical. Everyone's moving around with their mobile device. Effectively, as we say, IP has become the fourth utility. And so therefore having visibility to that is critical. Of course, data centers play a role. We're seeing a huge change in data centers, Manny. Once it was in the venue, now we're seeing a huge cloud adoption.
And a hybrid, all versions of
absolutely,
hybrid.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're seeing those two come together. So what applications are being serviced locally? What applications are being serviced by the cloud? And of course, how are they going to work together to give the outcome that the customer wants? And also what the patron wants from the guest perspective. As we continue security, huge importance on security, as we've seen in many scenarios, security is forefront. Not only security from externally coming into a location, but also, remember, these are large public venues, large number of people. From inside out, what's the security going to be when you've got thousands of people turning up to a stadium? Really critical. And of course, collaboration has become very pronounced now with regards to things like hybrid working and hybrid learning. And we're seeing a lot of this also be taken up for a lot of these public venues where they can interact with their partners through collaboration platforms from that perspective. So the architecture is very key and fundamental to making a lot of the outcomes successful for many of these large public venue customers.
Fantastic, Nick. And I just love the energy and the passion. When he talks about architecture and technology, you see it. The heart rate goes up, the energy levels are up. That's it from us from this first one. Thanks for the opportunity, and we hand over back to you, Emma.
Thanks.
Big shout out to Beth for sharing CISCO's learning pathways, and Manny and Nick for sharing their incredible career stories with us. Your certifications showcasing strong networking and IT skills are a testament to your expertise and have opened doors to exciting opportunities. We've gained some seriously inspiring insights as what it takes to be a leading technology architect and a general manager of sales in the realm of sports media and entertainment. So thank you so much, both of you. Rest assured, this isn't the last we'll hear from this dynamic duo. Both Manny and Nick will be back for part 2, where we'll delve into the electrifying tech that powers the world's grandest stages, from FIFA World Cup to your favourite music festivals. But before you go, why not kickstart your learning journey right now? Just scan the QR code you see on the screen and enroll of one of our exciting courses we've showcased today. Ready to dive deeper? Join us for Chapter 2 with Manny and Nick. Details are on our website. Thanks for being here and have a fantastic day. See you next time.